The policy is expected to take effect nationwide from January 9, 2023. Pan-Northern Nigeria Group, the Arewa Consultative Forum (ACF) has kicked against the implementation of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) policy on cash withdrawal limits, saying it will result in the catastrophic collapse of the informal sector. The CBN had directed deposit money banks and other financial institutions to ensure that weekly over-the-counter cash withdrawals by individuals and corporate entities do not exceed 100,000 naira and 500,000 naira respectively. The policy is expected to take effect nationwide from January 9, 2023. In a statement on Friday in Kaduna State, ACF said the CBN may have had the best of intentions while initiating the policy but failed to consider its extreme consequences on the informal sector. The statement, signed by Murtala Aliyu, Secretary General of the Forum, said the policy was well justified since cash-based economies were notoriously costly, inefficient and prone to attacks by evil people. A huge amount of time and money is needed to print the currency, and a lot more still to steer it through the system, the statement reads. The currency notes themselves have a shelf life after which have to be replaced. Cash is the lifeblood of the underworld, difficult to trace and quite convenient for terrorists, money launderers, smugglers, vote buyers, and so on. So yes, the less cash available for all these criminals as the CBN is trying to achieve, the better for law-abiding citizens. That said, we do not need to remember that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. CBN officials may have the best of intentions while contemplating this policy, but evidently failed to consider the unintended consequences of implementing it in the way they have planned, consequences that may be extremely grave. ACF described the policy as unrealistic, saying cash remained the major medium of exchange for most Nigerians, particularly those in the north. If the CBN insists on implementing this old unrealistic policy of restricting individuals' cash withdrawal from the banks to 20,000 naira per day and 100,000 naira for a week, or 500,000 naira in the case of corporate bodies, it won't be long before we suffer a catastrophic collapse of the informal sector of the economy, it said. More than anyone, CBN knows that transactions in commodity markets, especially in the rural areas, are entirely cash-based. The villagers that brings to the markets is chickens, beans, onions, goats, or cow does not typically have a bank account or internet skills. Cash remains the overwhelming medium of exchange for much of the country, particularly in the north. This should surprise no one, as bank offices are largely unavailable even for people who are keen and have the skills to use them. That is the problem we have always been having, trying to shift ground, trying to make sure that people do not grow. We always give excuses here and there. Oh, these people cannot do this, and that is the reason why this issue of electronic transmission of results, electronic voting, they don't want it. They will tell you, we don't have electricity, we don't have internet. Why is it that all those things cannot be provided? Why is it that people cannot be taught on how to do things? Now, because of that, we are saying that it will be a good thing because it will affect all those criminals. Now, because of we have somebody was even telling me that there's nothing like advantages or disadvantages about this whole thing. It is the Nigerian politicians that are making most of all this things. You see, you talk about the disadvantages, the things that the politicians are supposed to do, they won't do it. They will continue to give excuses. Oh, some people did not go to school. See, like Peter Obi said, he said, that the ability for those northerners to be able to read Quran very well shows that they are intelligent, because as far as Obi is concerned, that studying Quran might be more difficult, more challenging compared to normal Western world, going to school and what have you. That if if they are able to study Quran, that means to get educated in other area is going to be an easy work. But these politicians are always coming out to give excuses. When you talk about social media, they will tell you majority of them are not on social media. They are not this, they are not that. If we look at the pros and cons of this whole thing, you see that at the end of the day, it is the so-called criminals that this Arewa group is trying to make us seem. They are the ones that will benefit the more. They are the ones that will benefit the more. So who will not be losing? It is Nigerians that will be losing because of the way we are being compromising. Oh, some people cannot read and write. Some people do not have flair for education. They do not have this. They do not have that. We are supposed to be learning every day. If we continue to keep all this, continue to give all these excuses, we will not grow. We will not grow. But as far as all these things are concerned, since Buhari said he's in support, but by the time these people will not come up and begin to give excuses that are not tenable, you see that they will begin to shift ground. They will continue and they will begin to shift ground. Where Nigerians, where you want this whole thing to land, to end, depends on you. It depends on you. That's why we have majority of the people over there who are illiterate. They are illiterate, and there are people over there, they brag over it, they rejoice over it because it favors them, because it's helping them in their own quest to make more money. And the people who are involved are comfortable with that. They are comfortable with that. So what do you expect such a how do you expect such a what is it called environment to look like? It's just unfortunate. Talk about yourself, not Northerners. Let them join Niger Republic. Now, is it by force to be in Nigeria? If the Northerners don't want to move forward, instead backward, let them go to Niger Republic. Why are you or who are you to reject national monetary policy? The policy is objectively to curb some daring economic problem and to stylishly deal with these wicked politicians by stringently tightening their wicked means of spending during elections. Instead of educating your people, you keep disturbing others. Must we all go backward? Which type of people are these? No problem. By God's grace, one day we will go our separate ways. No one is above the law. He should be ashamed of himself by saying this publicly. These have been their wish to relegate their youth to the background and refuse them to be exposed so that they would not know their left from their right. But 2023 elections will be a lesson to them if they want to be free or not. Whenever a better policy is on board, groups will come up with negative ideas. They will not even consider its advantages because they have been blindfolded by corrupt system. Central bank carry on. You Northerners for Northern Forum or whatever name you call yourselves, I guess you are contractors employed by selfish northern politicians. Otherwise, you could have embarked upon public enlightenment to those villagers who could not make e-banking transactions so that they catch up with the time. Say whatever you want to say. I am a northerner as well, but the truth remains truth even if majority dislike it. That's it.